Good afternoon. You know, they say location, location, location. That, those three words, and that is the most important thing in determining success in the restaurant business. Especially, for all segments of the business, but today on the panel we have kind of QSR, premium QSR brands, both international and Indian, homegrown Indian. And I personally have a passion. I've been the head of development for a few brands. I think over my career of 35 years, I have opened over 400 restaurants, or been responsible for location, choosing over 400 restaurants in 5 countries, with a 80% success rate, which is pretty good in this location business. I still think location is a mix of data now, with data being available in India, data and science and financial modeling and instinct. It still needs walking the trade, walking the street, walking the high street, spending time in the mall, spending time in the location, going to the competitors, seeing what's happening. I think there's still a strong element of instinct which is required to kind of complete the piece. Different brands have different formulas. There's no one formula which works here. Different brands have different methods of evaluation. Some using more data, some using more instinct. It's also critical because at this time where the industry is kind of growing robustly and across all segments, there are therefore the requirement, and what we will be spending some time on is new location types. What is it beyond the traditional high street and mall, which are the two ways restaurant locations started in India? What were the other types of locations? And we'll get into examples and some stories from the people on the panel. So that's just a quick introduction. We're going to have time, at least 10 minutes, I hope, for Q&A at the end, when we hope to hear from all of you. So let me start with Akash, just because he's next to me. No other reason. And because on the panel, I think I've known him the longest.
Thank you.
So Akash, you worked across various brands. Even right now at Devyani, you're handling multiple brands and as a chief development officer. What is the biggest challenge you face in kind of, say, meeting your public company, meeting your location kind of goals and targets?
I think the quality of real estate continues to be a big concern for people who really want to expand the right way. One, the inventory is very fragmented. Then, the kind of infra that you need to have around your food store, like you should have parking, you should have, electricity coming in all the time. All of those remain a big problem right now. If that was not enough, the kind of rental that we pay, so we used to say earlier, third world revenue and first world rental, that kind of has corrected a bit, but then still the rentals continue to be pretty high. So I think these are some of the challenges that all of us are facing, I'm sure, here. And if you look at the ecosystem, if you talk to a landlord, he's like, I'm not making enough money on my capital. If you talk to a brand, he's like, my PNLs, need better rental. If you talk to consumer, he's not getting the right food at the right price. So nobody's happy in this entire ecosystem. I think we need to come together and correct. So finding the right real estate and then getting your partners along with it. You cannot stand alone, put a restaurant and expect it to do well. So you have to have an ecosystem with with South Indian, with burgers, with Chinese, all of them coming together. I think that is not happening. And then we start competing for the same space among ourselves. So that drives rental and defies logic.
Sanket, you were telling me just now before that, you've been with McDonald's for 22 years, so obviously opened a lot of McDonald's in West and South. Do you face similar challenges, or there's some additional challenges that you guys face while you're expanding the brand?
Yeah, I think everybody faces similar challenges who's sitting across the room. But we slightly chosen a different path, right? So one of the formats which, I was speaking to the panel during the lunch break, and that format of drive-through, which a lot of players don't invest into, that's something which is actually giving us a cutting edge. But if you get to Core Street, I think it's a I mean, it's a highly competitive market, and a lot of things actually we are driving the rental up. And eventually the unit economics has to work, right? Because while there is a great location, there has to be enough and more customers being able to pay and get you business and make the business viable. So
Robinder, you were talking about having done some train stations and tell us about that. That's a new because there are very few brands which have actually got into the train railways business.
Yeah, I think inspiration came from the different formats we tried over last 3 to 4 years. Our biggest success started from historical tourist places. When we opened in Charminar, we opened in IMAX, which is next to Hussain Sagar in Hyderabad. We started to witness a lot of attraction, not just from the city customers, but people who are traveling. They want to try food of local cuisine. When people travel to Hyderabad, they say that, okay, dum biryani, and then they recall Paradise, and they would want to access that brand. So, and post dine-in, we saw a lot of, most of these customers used to get a packaging done and, take back. We introduced a special flight packaging and special train packaging where your biryani will remain intact for next 12 hours. So that behavior of not just having food, but also taking it back home, sharing that legacy with the people at home. We thought, why not open more and more such? And we know airports are expensive and difficult deals to crack. Railway station started. We started
Are they good value for money in terms
Super.
of super value?
Super.
Wow.
I'll say that it has to be value for money. Biggest of all, time of packaging, time of delivery is critical, and the quality of food. Say 6 hours down the line, how do you invest in that right packaging is also important, because again, railway station is not just about consumption at railway station.
Another railway station rentals, they're not similar to airports, I hope.
Way lesser.
Way lesser.
Till the time attraction of people like Akash and all come over there, I think at the moment the rentals are way in control. Let's see, fingers crossed.
Okay. Pankaj, I know Vikram Kamats as a brand was one of the first, long time ago, did the highways well before any
Yes,
of the Western
absolutely.
QSRs came
It
in.
is more than 60 years of legacy. The
Yeah,
Kamats
yeah.
brand is
And, and on the highways in the
highway is a model basically which is multi-cuisine kind of, which caters to all the
it's
guests.
not
and
only the South Indian. It's
not
all,
only the outend, but taking the legacy forward with Vikram Kamath, we have come up with the Kamats legacy. It is a completely traditional South Indian cuisine, wherein right from when I say traditional and authentic, it is served in a banana leaf, uh, taken into all the authentic ingredients from the 5 states of South. So, as Akash rightly said, that there are challenges in respect of rentals, overheads, and also basically when we have a specific cuisine, so we need a specific staff which has been trained. So it is not means. I had also been into earlier a burger company where basically it is quite easy to assemble the product. But when it comes to South Indian, it has to be a very completely man-made products. It has to be designed. So we are also over and above with the rentals. We are also facing the kind of staffing issues, wherein we have started another vertical called KHAS, which is Kamats Hospitality and Services, where we train the team, basically the students who wants to get into hotel industry, but for whatsoever reason they are not able to do it. So we are making an army of the skilled people for Kamats. So that's a new technique, new way, basically Kamats we have introduced into our industry.
Vishal, what kind of locations have you experimented with the brand?
So, Samir, in terms of experimentation, whilst we are obviously present in the traditional formats, we have tried our luck with highways, access control. So, we are on the Mumbai-Pune highway, which is an access control highway, and at the airports as well. As we talked about Vittal Kamath, right? I mean, I remember stopping at the Nasik highway, the Mumbai-Nasik highway
Yeah,
for the longest time at Vittal Kamath. But yeah, in terms of the trials that we have done in new formats, these are the two formats that we have tried at Good Flippin. Yeah.
In terms of between high streets and malls, and I know you do dark kitchens also, but between high streets and malls, what's worked better for your brand? Any specific format or both are okay?
So, I mean, okay. So, you started the forum saying location, 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 right? So, we've been lucky with few high streets, and we've been lucky with mall locations as well, right? So, I mean, it's difficult to
You say
say.
lucky means what? Just a lucky choice or a lucky break on the rent?
I wish the mall developers were here to talk about lucky break on the rent, but I think it is more. I think none of them are there. It is more
If you
about.
guys want to say anything about the mall developers, go ahead and say it. I, over the last day and a half, have not met any mall developers. So.
So no, it is more about our conviction with a particular location, and the mall also convinced with the fact that okay, GFB needs to be here, right? So I think that's the way we've proven ourselves with malls, and that's how we intend to expand also on the mall portfolio.
Okay, Sunil. You guys have various brands. In your company, you have
Yes.
various brands.
Yes.
You're here chatting about Bigguys,
Bigguys.
which is a Korean fried chicken.
Yes.
So that was interesting. You know, I always come to these conferences because I learn. So I had no idea that there was an Indian company which had 22 Korean fried chicken outlets.
Yes.
That's very
Yes.
cool. I thought that's really interesting. So tell me what you're new and you're probably in the panel.
Correct.
You're the smallest in
Correct.
size.
Correct.
But what's your location journey been so far?
So, as far as what Akash said, we are into a franchising model. If real estate is not chosen perfectly, then we are a gone case because franchise is going to every time they are going to put question on us. So, location at the same time, no, getting at the right price, it is very much important. Unlike Domino's, where he gets no cake walk on the real estate. So, as
We
far
never
as
got cakewalks. Believe you me.
Akash, Domino's never got a cakewalk.
No, we didn't. We also had to spread it out equally hard.
In my view, having been the brands which got real beneficial for being the first was Pizza Hut, because Pizza Hut opened in 95 in India, and McDonald's. So when these two opened, I think for the first 5 to 10 years, there was a benefit of McDonald's, because I was driving development at Pizza Hut, and I know I used to get the most amazing deals because it was just brand Pizza Hut. But that all finished.
But I think
20
right
years
now,
ago.
But I think now for big guys, which all market we are catering right now, mostly T2, T3 cities, we intentionally putting all the outlets in the high street because comparatively, let's see if I talk about Bangalore, if I'm paying 200 bucks per square foot, I'm there, I'm paying 110 to 120 rupees per square foot. So that is what I am leveraging. I'm intentionally putting outlets which is on the high street. Even few of our outlets are there beside to KFC. And intentionally we are putting so that the brand recognition and recall is there.
So as long as they are not putting Korean fried chicken as KFC and putting a store right next to KFC, we are fine.
Yes.
No, but that's, I have a fun story which goes with that. I was CEO of Nirulas. And we used to open, it started opening in the end of my tenure there, just ice cream parlors. And suddenly, every time I went to check out the new ice cream parlor, there was a Bittu Tikkiwala next to me, next to Nirulas. So Bittu Tikkiwala had one location strategy, open next to Nirulas, they do all the research. Don't have to worry about it. So, yeah, the synergy, and I think this is happening, and I don't know whether you see, so there is, I wouldn't say a herd mentality, but there is a thing where food hubs or, a bunch of restaurants together, you don't actually compete with each other, but
You complement, you make it a bigger place.
make it a bigger place.
Yeah, so
right?
it becomes a hub. You're right, Samir, right? For the
People
longest time.
Anyone give examples of good hubs that they've seen really develop, which have done well for you, and you've seen the hub do well?
I don't know, Akash, maybe if I'm giving a right example, but say, for example, Galleria Market, right?
That's right.
Right? Galleria eventually evolved into a decent food hub with brands really taking that adventurous call to pay 1,000 rupees a square foot as a rental, right? And pay obscene amount of money for power load enhancement as well, right? And they all said that, okay, let's take a punt and open a store at Galleria Market, right? So, that's one top of the mind recall that comes to my mind in terms of a hub that got created where quite a few brands decided to say that let's go
I think
here.
possibly the best example would be the DLF Cyber Hub. And I remember 2013 when Manish came to us for Starbucks, nobody understood the concept of having restaurants along with corporate park. But then DLF proved that model. And today when you talk to a developer, what are you doing? I'm making a Cyber Hub. So that Cyber Hub has become a term like you have commoditized that particular asset. It has all the grade A restaurants. Revenues are very good, and they still have the ability to churn it so that there is enough and more freshness. It's been 12, 13 years. DLF Cyber Hub continues to draw traffic, not only from Gurgaon, but from Manesar, from Delhi, and from all the nearby area. And it is still the largest one in the country.
I'll second that, and this is despite 32nd Mile Avenue, which is a fairly decent F&B hub, just not too far, and One Horizon, Two Horizon Center, which is also so Cyber Hub was the first and is actually done well. Let's chat about new location opportunities. Maybe even if you're not there, right? But what do you think would be exciting and interesting location types to look at for your brand specifically?
So for good Flippin burgers, it's clearly about high visibility, high footfall, right? I mean, burger is not a destination. People don't plan to go and eat a burger, right? You need to be visible for a customer to take an effort and say, okay, I am seeing a good Flippin burger. I go and have a burger there. Something interesting that I observed when I was working for Starbucks was a store that we had at Kokilaben Hospital in Andheri, right? I mean, to my mind, that was really a hats-off decision that the company by then had taken to say that let's go ahead and open a store in a hospital, right? Other thing that when I was part of the company is when we went ahead and opened a store at the Statue of Unity at Kevadia, right? Again, from a tourist place of interest point of view. So, I mean, these are two things that, I feel were, in a way, in hindsight, good decisions because post which Starbucks opened quite a few stores in hospitals as well. And I think they continue to open stores at places of tourist interest as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So, like I spoke about drive-thrus, because we felt that could create markets, right? Drive-through formats. So it's primarily around the neighborhood.
But it's not only highways. This is now in
Yeah,
this.
so we started actually with neighborhoods. Okay, while the first store might be on the highway, we saw the biggest benefit coming in from neighborhood markets or the suburban markets, like we call, because what happens is, while a second is started, the burger business is a lot about convenience. But what drive-through gives you an advantage that it is also a destination store plus convenience, right? So the drive-through adds the convenience part to it, which is we are known for our fast service, right? So we talk about like 120 seconds delivery on the drive-through from the time you place the order. But what we see is because of the parking and because of the overall nature of the large-scale McDonald's, we see a lot of destination business also come in.
Have you seen any, and I'm asking this, have you seen any Indian QSR brands doing drive-thrus, or is it still only the Western ones?
At a country level,
No.
I think there are
So I'll name a
220
few, yeah.
drive-thrus.
How many?
There are 220 drive-thrus.
In India.
I think McDonald's own 210 of them.
210.
So at KFC, we have a lot of drive-through, but one Indian brand who has done drive-through very well is Burger Singh. And
Burger Singh has a
Burger
drive-through, is
Singh,
it?
they have
Okay.
done very Indian brand. Burger King is the international one. Burger Singh has done 2-3 very good ones, and they do pretty decent numbers.
But I know a lot of Western brands now are investing in drive-thru,
Drive-thrus.
especially.
Rubinder, I have a different question for you. You're a Hyderabad brand with very strong roots in South India and so far. And you've just mentioned entered Gurgaon. How did you guys make that the decision to come to Gurgaon versus Delhi, and how's that experience been and so far? Because Delhi is a very crowded biryani market, right? I mean, it's got lots of biryani players.
See, actually, so firstly, it's a data-backed decision. The decision has been taken very well thought through. In our country, if I divide north, south, east, and west, south and east are very heavy rice-eating markets, very heavy on biryani. So, by virtue of it, it happens to be a very value-conscious market when it comes to rice, because it's more like a commodity. It's like an everyday meal. But when you look at west and north, it's not primarily a rice-eating or a biryani-eating market. Here, it's an opportunity to charge premium as well. If you see, you talked about north, brands in north. Say one portion of biryani in Hyderabad, what you get at 250 rupees, in Delhi you'll get at 600, 650 rupees. That's the level of delta. Yeah. So if we have to look at the unit economics overall, we'll see that get mass from south and east, get gross margin from north and west.
That's interesting. And when you said data-driven, this is consumer data or this is competitive data? What data do you guys
Actually,
mine?
both.
Both consumer and competitive.
Consumer data as well as
So you
all
mean
the respected brands,
You
their
must
numbers.
be studying his subsidiary brand.
Oh,
Biryani
yes,
by
very, very
kilo.
closely.
We just got our biryani by kilo, and you're right, we are selling it at 440 rupees for half a kg. That's Hyderabadi biryani or a Katal biryani, and non-veg is like
Yeah.
40, 50 rupees more. But 600 we don't have anything. It's little more pricey, but for us we are little massy, and so we have to make sure that we continue to be a national brand. And the whole idea is that why we bought this brand is that this completes, the aggregator piece also. On the aggregator platform, Chinese, pizza, and biryani, these are the top three cuisines. And the way we are opening on the highways, and we are going to be very, big there. Biryani is one product that you can also take away with you in the car, eat it a long way. You don't have to put your fingers anywhere. Simply eat it out of the plate.
Question, you mentioned that food courts is one of the focus areas. Is it only highways or we're looking at food courts elsewhere?
So
I
the
mean,
way
in
we-
other, because I know you have in hospitals and...
So the way we look at it is in the entire journey of a consumer. So when his kid gets up, he should have something in the school. So we have a brand called Tea Life for them. It's a Malaysian bubble tea brand. Uh, the person goes to a corporate park. He gets a Costa, he gets a biryani by kilo. At times he also gets a KFC and a Pizza Hut. Then God forbid he has to go to a hospital. You get Costa, you get the other food items, Wango. When you are traveling for fun or for recreation or for religious purposes, we are right there on the highway. You mature, your kids grow up, they go to a university or a college, we are there. So we are trying to, and we are at metro station, we are also getting to a couple of bus stations, we are already at the airports. So all the point of places or interest for people, we are trying to be there, completing their needs.
So I want to pick up one and ask if anyone's done any, religious destinations. Okay.
Done, I mean, not exactly religious destination, but I know in Delhi, while not our market, there is another partner
Yeah,
who
yeah.
runs that, but they have done some stores on Vaishno Devi. And there is a store near
Amritsar,
Golden Temple.
Golden Temple,
Golden
yes.
Temple, I think, is long
Yeah,
back.
long time. No,
but-
they're both, I've seen
Yeah,
those
but they're
veg,
long
veg
back.
stores,
Yeah, but the
vegetarian stores.
Vegetarian stores. But I think we
Because
have something at
yeah.
Tirupati, not exactly at the temple, but on
you
the way
do?
to temple. But what happens is after the temple, consumption is very high.
Yeah. So, I mean,
so
Same,
that's
same is with
something-
us.
You also
Basically,
have?
in the religious places, basically the two destinations where we are present and doing very well is Dwarka and Somnath. So people come up, visit over there with a complete different mindset. So and they want something rather than having local, something where they are trusted or they are very much confident. So they definitely visit over there at Dwarka, Somnath, where Kamats is present. And I am very much surprised and amazed that we are doing fantastic business in these locations. And hence we are looking forward for more religious places also. And as all of the panel members with me are there, where Akash said that the burgers, pizza, and Chinese are the top three products which we are buzzing as of now. So at Kamats, basically, we are trying out to cut a niche from this and create a complete South Indian legacy where people wants to come and try. Rather, we are pushing in an manner, basically, to adapt a healthy food. I am not
you're
saying that.
creating a
I am
South
not
Indian
saying that.
legacy. He's got a Hyderabadi legacy. Biryanis, which is not. But
Yeah, I am not
biryani
saying it is not
the
healthy,
most,
but the point is
most
basically I'm
ordered
pushing.
item on
I'll share a
delivery.
failure story of religious.
Oh,
here.
please,
Yeah.
please.
So basically, see, Paradise Biryani, it's 90% non-veg with us, right?
Absolutely.
It's
Always say that there is no veg biryani as such.
So
And I counter that.
though we have a very decent veg menu, but still the consumption is about 10%. In Hyderabad on a highway, we opened one restaurant which is very next to a temple, and it's a very religious temple. Like people come, especially on weekends, you'll find restaurants nearby, local restaurants jam packed and all. We saw this as an opportunity, and it's a story which gave us a lot of learning, but it was a failure for us. So we went there. We actually publicized the veg menu. We did not launch non-veg, purely veg. But people just did not come in.
You launched a
Perception.
pure veg restaurant.
It was a pure
Perception.
veg
Yeah.
paradise
No, very, very
biryani.
true.
And honestly speaking, consumers just said, boss, we just can't relate. And even if you are veg, right now someone spoke about the mindset when you go to the temple. The mindset is such, the brand is associated with non-veg. So in spite of the fact you are doing veg, it's not working.
So I want to
Thankfully, we had like
here let me
50% of
add-
our pro-mix
So
being
I-
veg.
Yeah. So we are
Let me add to
extremely
a point
non-veg.
about
Go ahead.
biryani. Basically, last year I had an experience. Basically, Kamats legacy is completely South Indian vegetarian. So end of the year means 25 December onwards to first week of January, we do not see customers in vegetarian.
Absolutely, I can relate. Yeah.
So this
Any-
time,
And those are
last
the
year,
time
what I
like we
did
have-
basically,
we are sweating left, right, and center.
I pitched it that come and try 5 states vegetarian biryanis. We did a biryani festival, did a completely marketing and all that. Surprisingly, there was certain percentage of footfall, but not that at what basically everyone has moved out. फिर भी people thought कि चलो ये veg biryani क्या है? So they tried, but this was an effort we did, but
So,
it's not that what we do in a non-veg
anyone
is doing.
else wants to share learnings? You know, and I think it's very important to discuss, and it's not enough of this is discussed in panels and in conferences. What mistakes one made in location, on the topic, and what one learned from it, so that others, who are younger entrepreneurs don't make the same mistakes. Anyone else got a location mistake to?
Yeah, maybe I can quickly. Yeah, Sanket raised his hand already. West Delhi, Tagore Gardens, right? We used to have a cloud location there and doing reasonably decent business. Then we got an opportunity to go and open a store at Pacific Mall, Tagore Gardens. We said, logical, the market is consuming us. So we said, okay, let's go ahead and open a food court counter at Pacific Mall, Tagore Gardens. And we shut the cloud, obviously. We said, we'll move all businesses here. Lo behold, we realize is the fact that whilst customers are okay eating a good flippin' burger at their home, calling it from a delivery kitchen, but they do not want to be seen eating good flippin' burgers at Pacific Mall Tagore Garden food court. In hindsight, we feel that we should have not been part of a food court, but we should have taken a dine-in space where customers would have been okay consuming a premium product in a dine-in environment that we would have given.
That's good.
I'm
good
taking
learning.
this as a learning.
No,
right?
absolutely good
You
learning.
should have converted into that Ghatkopar, your good flipping burger, I believe that. That was majorly people wanted. I was seeing the lots of crowd, but they wanted to be comfortable sitting there.
Absolutely.
Good. No.
So I think one of the learnings we got is office food court. I mean, that was the craze maybe 7-8 years back. And what we realized is if you're going to shut your business for 1 to 2 days in a week, the business does not sustain, right? And in fact, the panel pretty much comprises of people who are much more organized, have a lot of SOPs. Unless you don't have a franchisee running that outlet, your central systems are not going to help any business that shuts for 1 to 2 days.
Okay. Yeah.
I think on the learning part, 4 or 5 things. Typically, when an entrepreneur goes and sees a lot of footfall at a particular place, he would feel like there are enough and more people. Why don't I go and open the store? I think the basic mistake that we do is understanding the consumer profile, the value proposition, and the kind of mindset he has. The same guy going to a Ambience Gurgaon and buying a Zara, the same girl going to a Lajpat Nagar may not feel like entering a Starbucks at that time because her perception and the value proposition that she's there for is very different. So we had opened a Starbucks at Lajpat Nagar. It was one of our first stores in 2013 end. And when we took all the international team, they were jabbed looking at the kind of footfall. It was better than New York. But then we couldn't do well. So people were coming, parking their 1 crore rupee car and going to that Ram Laddu wala and having it. While we were looking at the first floor, why people are not entering. So we realized when you are in a local market where people want to have local food, you cannot have an international cafe and open. Since that day, I have not seen any of the Indian cafes also opening in Lajpat Nagar or Karol Bagh or Rajouri Garden.
They don't work there.
None of them
None of
opened.
them work there. Yeah. Anyone? Yeah.
Yeah. So just out of my experience, I think Akash would know there is a city in Andhra Pradesh called Elluru. So I think you guys operate there. So what I have understood is in T3 cities, taking a property which is visible to the audience, that is more important. The moment you are taking a, let's say, any suburb in a different way, so that becomes bad story for the whole brand. So I think we had taken one property. I think still we are continuing, but we are struggling with the numbers.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing transparently. Okay. I'm not going to open it up for Q&A. If we can get a light on the audience also, we can't see them. Really. And anyone who's got a question, just raise your hand. Please direct it specifically right here to any panelist. Or if it's a general question, you can.
Hi, I'm Sumagla. I'm from Karnataka. Just I wanted to know, is there any parameters for understanding this, localization and innovation with consistency, and how to, identify, how to maintain consistency of the demand and all?
I think Sanket, you would be one of the better people. You've done a lot of innovation.
And
Actually,
consistency.
yeah. So I think one of the localization using global in a global form, right? I mean, it's long back. Is aloo tikki burger. Okay, we had that coming into our system maybe 22 years back, and that's something that is sustained well. It's actually one of our highest selling burger, and it's not just the price. We know a lot of people won't trade up that burger for anything else, right? So that's something. Yeah. So thank you, Akash. So that's one. I think the other thing around consistency is this thing is how you set up your SOPs and how your people rally towards it. So that's the larger part. I think it's a
I'll
very
just
small
add to
answer.
that, what's very important is training.
Yeah.
Once you have the SOPs, the training of the people is to ensure that consistent delivery happens. Yeah. I think there's a question at the, two questions at the, many at the back.
So what is your strategy for the occasions like Kumbh Mela?
Sorry.
What is your
Strategy for the
strategy?
Kumbh Mela.
Yeah.
Oh, great question.
Occasions
Anyone
like
doing the
Kumbh
Kumbh
Mela.
Mela?
There are
I'll
many
pick that
such
up.
occasions.
Yeah, go ahead, Akash.
So in my previous, organization, we did. I was with Domino at that time, and we were able to seize the opportunity much before anybody could. And we knew that there are a lot of these families coming in where the product has to be very stable. They might have to carry it back home. They may have to eat it little, later also. So that product had to be very good. It should have mass appeal. So when the government was taking up tenders for all of these places, we went to 4 or 5 places very, very strategically. And the whole idea was, one, obviously we'll do a veg menu only, but then we did regular sizes so that we could churn more. And because it happens that the snan timing between 3 to 5 a.m. So suddenly you have a rush of 1 lakh people coming in, and then you are silent for another 2 3 hours. So we kept our menu very limited, only 3 4 kind of pizzas, only regular sizes, and we would continuously make them without even worrying about how the orders are coming in. Because we knew, we can churn out 30 pizzas in 1 hour. So we had 3 ovens. So we had done all the calculation, and we had sensed the opportunity of Kumbh. The other thing that happened with Kumbh is that when people went back, they went back with a very good memory of the brand. And when you do religious tourism, something that comes only once in 12 years, and you had a very good experience with one product, that memory will remain for another 12 years. So more than money that we could earn was the recognition of the brand.
Very important. Yeah. Okay.
Very,
Go
very
ahead.
true. I have a question. So I am from Hyderabad. So I understand Paradise. Paradise is more of a heritage for us in Hyderabad. Even though Paradise has expanded a lot, still I go to the heritage Paradise only. The only reason is for us Paradise is, in fact, that circle is called Paradise Circle. So how do you handle when you expand beyond the heritage?
I think we, for last about 2 3 years specifically, from the time this professional setup started, Samara Capital infused in, I think 2 years we have done a rigorous work around this. Earlier, Paradise expanded basis franchisee or without proper thought through, we have consolidated, we have set our home right. Today, our model purely works on hub and spoke commissary based model. So, if you're having Paradise Biryani in Chennai, in Elluru, Rajmandri, or Bangalore, anywhere, the marination of that chicken, mutton, everything is done in our central commissary. That's number one. Number two, the entire supply chain is now owned by us. It used to be third party at some point of time. It is completely owned, so well temperature controlled, tech enabled. Even a small temperature spike is, given as an alarm to respective people in the team. Third is the SOP, and Samir mentioned about training. I think training is a strong muscle for us. I don't think without right training, even if the marination is done centrally, you can get the product right. So that training is a extremely important part of our DNA today. So that's where I think we, personally, when we go, we visit, or the feedbacks which we give from customers, friends, is that it's the same taste today what we used to get in heritage.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Alice. I'm the founder of Super Planter. Sunil briefly touched upon his learnings in Tier 3 city.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on your learnings or experiences more on Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, mainly around revenue, gross margins, commercial viability?
I can give a fun, good story, not a learning bad story. When I was at Nirula's, in 2009, we decided to open in Pathankot, which is Tier 3. And this is 16 years ago. And there was us, then Cafe Day followed us, and we did so well, we opened a second. So Tier 2, Tier 3, I think has been, and all these, there in many, you are in many, I think has been a very good success story. It is lower costs, lower revenues, but still the kind of margins are, I think, slightly better. There's also a greater, in what I have found over the years and even in my consult, there's a propensity to eat out. People want to spend. People want to go out and they're not so busy. Traffic is not that much of an issue. But
I think tell you in Tier 2 and Tier 3, the brand that we are here in the metros, we are very transactional brands. When you go to a Tier 2, Tier 3, we become aspirational for them. I've seen Roka ceremony happening at Domino's, at KFC. Yeah, it's so common because you do not otherwise find an air-conditioned restaurant which serves you standard food. The other thing is when you go to a Tier 2, Tier 3, I tell my team that you have to spend at least 2 nights over there. And during my previous companies also, we opened in cities where people sleep at 8:39, and bulk of our revenue starts from 7:30 p.m. So what do? So we have to understand the way a city operates. Is it a Jain-centric city? Is it heavy on non-veg? What time people go to bed? What time they get up from the bed? What is the core profession of the people? Are they business people? Because otherwise then they will shut shop at 10 p.m. and they can order at home. Or people are only Sarkari, so they come from somewhere. Is it a migrant town where people only travel morning, evening, and they have no time?
Customer understanding and research.
And before that,
Customer
never
behavior
venture into a Tier 2 or a Tier 3.
Okay.
Rents, dynamics, PNL, all can be sorted. But you should know what you're doing and what your product is.
So just to add what Akash said, so in T3 city, what happens? So anytime anyone goes out, they go out with the family. So they need a good dining space. The brand has to be very aspirational because for them, they have never seen brands like coming in from, let's say, from last a decade or so. Now brands started coming into all these T3 and suburb cities. So they see the store should look good, should have a good dining space, so that because they will be coming with their family. So that has to be a space where they can celebrate. So that is what key in T3 cities. That is what we have done a blunder there.
Sure. Okay, I've been told time is up, and if I don't finish, then Anish will get after my life. So thank you all. I think that was a very interesting conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.